June 25th, 2026, A Meditative Life. The Mystery, Into the Place of Lack. Beloved saints, are you abiding into the peace of the Lord today? Every day, we diligently sweat to beautifully decorate the grand banquet called life. We turn the millstone within us to solidify our economic foundation, and we struggle to fill our lives with boasts of flashy achievements. However, the joy the world gives and the finite resources we have, like the wine at a wedding feast, vainly run out at some point and magically bring about a moment of lack. The unexpected lack that comes to a place that should be filled with joy often pushes us into deep feelings of defeat and anxiety. Today, the illustration of the wedding feast at Cana in John chapter 2 clearly shows us where we must turn our eyes when our shallow calculations and capital run out. When the excitement of the wedding feast was reaching its peak, the wine unexpectedly ran out. It was a moment of despair where the feast could no longer continue with human wisdom and ability. At that time, Jesus' mother, Mary, showed the wisdom of fully trusting the Lord's faithful prescription, telling the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Jesus saw the 6 stone water jars there, used for the Jewish rites of purification, and commanded the servants, "Fill the jars with water." Without any rational calculation or doubt, the servants obeyed the Lord's word and filled the jars with water to the brim. And when the Lord said, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet," the water had already turned into the purest, most brilliant, and finest wine that could not be tasted anywhere else in the world. The master of the banquet marveled, not knowing where this wine came from, but the servants who silently drew the water, holding on to the spiritual compass of the Lord's word, clearly knew the secret of that mysterious miracle. From God's perspective, water turning into wine is simply a natural fact of ruling the entire universe, but into the human world, it was a marvelous and great moment of revelation where the veil was lifted. Beloved, are you discouraged today because the wine has run out at the banquet of your life? Are you on the verge of collapsing from exhaustion after struggling alone with the scarce resources of your circumstances and environment? If so, put down the vain pickaxe that was trying to fill worldly boasts and place your empty stone jars before the word of the Lord. The Lord understands our broken hearts and weaknesses more deeply than anyone else, and even at this moment, He is working to fill our lack. Although right now, it may be an obedience that looks as meaningless as plain water or picking up pebbles of the word. When the Lord's time comes, it will transform into a jewel of victory that will make our souls dance most abundantly. I earnestly pray that you will abundantly enjoy the loving kindness of the Lord, who transforms the place of lack into the greatest feast through obedience to His word up to the brim. Meditation and application. The first meditation is following the Lord's word, not my wisdom, into moments of lack. What am I looking for first? When facing unexpected lacks and heavy burdens, into life right now? Am I perhaps shedding vain sweat trying to solve problems with human methods, relying on the sandcastles of my strength, connections, and the shallow wealth of the world? My stubbornness and calculations will only bind me into the snare of anxiety. Starting today, let us resolve to completely lay down our shallow calculators before the cross and listen only to the Lord's word with the faith to do whatever He tells you. The second meditation is filling the stone jars with the water of obedience to the brim. The spiritual miracles the Lord performs are materialized, not through our half-hearted pretense, but through obedience to the brim, fully captivated by the word. In my busy daily life, am I perhaps moderately compromising on consuming the word and praying, foolishly postponing the preparation of spiritual oil? Today, try practicing filling the holy water by fully devoting yourself and obeying to the end the small tasks given to you and a single verse of God's word. The greatest victory of water turning into wine will be waiting for me.